Hey guys, now you can follow me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/UltraMaximusReviews.
And the Masters of the Universe.
Use a no Master of Universe, use it too tiny.
That's what you think, Skeletor.
Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another toy review, and today we're taking a look at Mega Construx, Masters of the Universe, Mega Construx Heroes, He-Man and Skeletor. I picked these up at my local Walmart on my birthday, actually, and these are really cool. They're really tiny action figures, essentially, that are the Mega Construx, which I think used to be called Mega Blocks. They're a version of like the little Lego minifigures type of thing, the little Build-A-Figure stuff, and they've got a few different lines of them out now, and the most recent wave is the Heroes wave, which I hope they do a lot more, and it contains Masters of the Universe! So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have He-Man and Skeletor in packaging, and these guys are pretty small. I mean, there's my hand there. And they're supposed to be, but they're really, really cool looking. And they retail at Walmart for $4.97, so about $5 retail, which I think is a pretty decent price for something so small and cute and fun. And they come with little stands. Skeletor has the Havoc staff. He-Man's got his Power Sword and Shield, which is cool. They got some artwork up there, and it says Mega Construx Series number 1, so just kind of a close-up here. So yeah, it says Masters of the Universe. We get He-Man artwork looking cool. There's He-Man himself with his Power Sword. And then it says Mega Construx Heroes. Nothing really on the sides. Series number 1. Back of the packaging has the other figures. So we get Skeletor, Captain Picard from Star Trek The Next Generation, and a Borg drone, and then we get a Colonial Marine and a Xenomorph alien, which I really wanted to get the alien too, but they did not have. They did have Picard and the drone. I just didn't care for them as much as I did the He-Man and the Skeletor. I think these guys look really cool, and I hope we get more Masters figures from them. I think that would be a lot of fun. So there's Skeletor, looking all types of cool. Yeah, definitely pretty fun. Let's go ahead and get He-Man and Skeletor out of box and see what we think. So here we have He-Man and Skeletor out of the packaging, and these guys are tiny. I mean, there's my finger. They're probably, what, about 1.5 inches tall, I think. Definitely under 2 inches. But these are really cool because they are miniature action figures. They actually have the articulation of an action figure that is in a 6-inch scale, and I find that very, very impressive. I will say, off the cuff, I think Skeletor's face is a little bit better than He-Man's, but, you know, to give it to Mega Construx, that a tiny little human head is kind of hard to put together, but the detail on these figures, absolutely amazing. They do stand on their own without the little bases, but you get all this stuff to build, and it is all very tiny. Now, He-Man does come with his Power Sword, which is pretty darn cool. He also, Skeletor does too, on the back of the figure, and this is going to be real hard to stay in focus, so bear with me, guys. The back of the figure, it actually has a spot to store the sword. Skeletor does too. Unfortunately, Skeletor does not come with his purple Power Sword, which I wish that he did, but He-Man can put the Sword of Power in his back, just like he did in the comics and in the cartoon. it does alter his weight, so you gotta kind of adjust it. And I'm presuming you're going to have to just put him on the stand when he's got the sword, because it does make him top heavy. He can't balance it around as much. But yeah, definitely very, very cool. Skeletor comes with the Havoc Staff that you have to build. Now, it boasts all these different parts, but it's for these figures that are already constructed, and you're basically putting the bases together and the weapons. So let's go ahead and do some construction. So here we have He-Man and Skeletor constructed, and I will say that they're so tiny. Getting their weapons into their hands can be kind of difficult, so be aware of that. And some advice with He-Man, put the shield in kind of angled this way, because if you put it in straight and kind of try to turn it, it is not going to want to do that, so FYI. Yeah, definitely very cool. I do appreciate the scale of these figures. It is very, very awesome. I will probably put them on the stands just so they don't get lost, and it'll help for stability's sake. Now, as far as articulation goes on these guys, I'm going to take Skeletor's Havoc Staff off and use him as the example here. So his head is on a ball joint. He can look that far down. He can look that far forward. He can twist his head all the way around. The chest armor bits, oh, we're out of focus. So the chest armor bits here that are on the body, and again, just kind of in case you didn't see that, is a soft rubber. Now, the little part in his back where you can store the swords, I'm afraid that'll probably rip over time, so be aware of that. You'll probably just want to have them hold it in the hand. He does have a spin, or they have a spin at the waist, which is nice. The arms go up that far. They are on a twist at the arm, which is very cool. There is an elbow joint right there, and they also twist at the elbow. The hands also twist, which is very, very nice. Legs kick up about that far. They go all the way back. They do splay out like that, and then there's a single jointed knee. No articulation at the foot, which is okay. I'm actually amazed by the articulation in this action figure. It is a 1.5 inch fully articulated action figure, and that really impresses the living hell out of me. I mean, they did a very good job with these figures. I hope that we see more of the Masters of the Universe line in this scale. Now, the stands are pretty basic. They've got He-Man and Skeletor on there, and they're Castle Grayskull Gray, which I really do like. I would love, to be honest, like I said, to see more figures from the Masters line in this scale, and I'd like to see a Construx Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain set that you can build together in these blocks. I think that would be really, really awesome. And, you know, in this scale, you know, if you've got the figures this scale, make them actual size. I think that would be amazing, and I'd pay the money for it for sure. So taking a closer look at He-Man himself, again, I'm so impressed with the articulation of the figure, all the detail, the little armor piece that goes over his chest. The sword is perfect. The shield looks like the toy. I think the weakest point is the head sculpt. I like the armbands. They pop on really nice. The fact that it's got the little spot to put the power sword on the back of the armor is really fantastic. He's got the little yellow belt, the little fur trunks look nice. You know, the wrappings on the boots, very He-Man-like. I really feel this is more of an homage to the toy than it is the cartoon, of course. And the fact that, you know, they've got the face on there and the hairstyle is very, very nice. Although, you know, again, I wish it was more toy accurate than what's here, but I can't complain too much because for all the detail that's in the figure, I mean, that's amazing, especially for a $5 price tag. Now, taking a closer look at Skeletor, of the two figures, I think Skeletor is actually a little bit stronger. I think the head sculpt looks better. Might be easier than the human head sculpt at that scale, but the Havoc Staff has some really nice detail to it. It's a little big at the top underneath the goat head, but what are you going to do? Again, the armor piece that goes around the chest, very nice. Very detailed. He has a spot for the power sword as well. Unfortunately, he does not come with a power sword. I wish he did. He-Man came with 2 weapons. Why can't Skeletor? But the paint apps on it, very, very nice. Much like He-Man, they are accurate. The finger sculpts, I love. The fact they sculpted fingers on these guys. He's got the little gladiator-type skirt going on, which is very nice. The detail on his anklets and his little, monster-like feet are very cool. I think they nailed the color blue and purple on Skeletor down really, really well. And he's got the molded-in monster fins on his forearms like the toy did. Very, very nice. Again, overall, I think they nailed the characters. For comparison, here we have the Mega Construx Heroes, He-Man and Skeletor, next to the Cubo's Hellboy, which I did review this guy for 31 Horror Toys in 31 days. Coming this October, definitely check that out. I will add a link to the latest trailer here. And, yeah, as you can see, these figures are pretty small. The Cubro's figure, he is, just to kind of throw in a size scale to a Marvel Legend, here is Spider-Man, so he kind of towers out of the shot at, 5.5 inches. So these guys are definitely very tiny, but definitely very articulated, and it still impresses me with the level of detail on these tiny action figures. And one last quick comparison. Here are the Mega Construx Heroes, Skeletor and He-Man, with the Castle Grayskull statue. I want to say this is by Hard Heroes. It's been so long since I've gotten it. I will add a link to my review on this. This was the first review with this camera that I did. I did it as a test, so very, very fun. I love this. There's actually a base that goes to this that I want to get, but these guys scale perfect for this Grayskull here, so they're definitely going up on top of this Grayskull. I still want a Construx Grayskull to go with these guys. I think that would be a lot of fun, but for now they're going to sit with this Castle Grayskull because, well, it works and it works well. So is the Mega Construx Heroes, He-Man and Skeletor from Masters of the Universe something that you want in your Masters of the Universe collection? If you are an avid MOTU fan, then this is something you want to pick up because they're $5 a piece. This is Series 1. You get He-Man and Skeletor for $10. They are fully articulated and painted action figures. The figures themselves come assembled. All you have to do is put the weapons together. He-Man is just putting the holder, the handle into the shield, and then you got to put together Skeletor's Havoc Staff. They are completely painted, very nicely done, better than some figures that we get today from some of the bigger brands like Hasbro and Mattel. And they come exactly detailed to the toys that we got in the 80s with some upgrades, really. I appreciate that. I mean, down to fingers being sculpted, the hair sculpted, Skeletor's face paint. They've got brown straps painted on to He-Man's bands on his arms. I mean, they did a really, really nice job. Even placeholders for the sword and shield on these guys. They're tiny. I gotta say, they are tiny, but they're cute. They're fun. If that's not your kind of thing, this is an easy pass. But I am really excited for these. I was very pleased with it. The price point was right. I think kids are going to like this kind of stuff. I want to see more of the Masters of the Universe line. I want to see the other characters made in this scale. And I also want to see Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain in a construction block set out of Mega Construx. I think that would be a lot of fun. And you can make it to scale with these figures being so small. I think that would be amazing. Maybe even an Eternia set would be very cool. Now, also in Wave 1, you get Star Trek The Next Generation, Captain Picard, and a Borg, which are okay. They did have those. I passed, went with the Masters instead. I think these look a lot more fun. They also have an Alien set with a Xenomorph and a Space Marine. I did not see those, so those must be the short pack. They had a ton of He-Man and Skeletor, and they had a handful of the Next Generation figures as well. So, in my opinion, the Masters are definitely the ones to go for. So there they are, He-Man and Skeletor from Masters of the Universe for Mega Construx Heroes.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.